100k subs. I've made it. I've freaking made it. Like the tortoise that beat the hare. It was slow. Oh my god, was it slow? I've eked my way past it at last. And I've been thinking for a while, what do I want to do for 100k? I was thinking like a montage or something. They're always emotional as hell, you know, when Final Fantasy drops, the little montages at the end. It's like all the experience and the adventures that have been had. Oh man, it's gonna be emotional. This is an emotional vid for me just because it's a really bittersweet moment, guys. It really is. Like, to be aiming for this silver play button, this 100k achievement, which I cannot thank you guys enough for helping me get to. Everyone who subbed, everyone who tipped me their money out of their pocket, everyone who just was a friend, like you. This channel has honestly been my bedrock for the last number of years. I cannot express my gratitude or how much you guys have opened up for me, like buying my house and getting to pursue the things I want to pursue, be my own person, and all the benefits that comes with, but also the degeneracy that comes with. And I think this is where I'm coming in with this vid, because you guys have probably noticed I've not been with the channel. I've been more doing stuff like this, just coming up, cycling, sitting with me, my little stovey, which better put that back on, that's got cold. But yeah, I'm up here on the Kent Downs at the moment. It's very beautiful. I would pan the vid for you, but it's taken me a shitload to set this up on my swanky new bike. I'll show you this in a sec, guys, but I've got this brand new fleet bike because the next couple years, 2, 3, I'm definitely still going to be doing the channel. That's what I want to say first and foremost. I'm still going to be there for the 7 remake. I'm still going to be there for 16. Whether I'll be there on time, like at release dates, I hope so. But the reason why this video is so bittersweet for me is I'm going to be dropping the channel for a while. And it's just because, not because I haven't enjoyed the channel, and the reason I've been more elusive on streams and not kept the schedule or the video uploads is like every other reason but the channel. I love the channel. I love Final Fantasy. I fucking love you guys. Like, I know probably every YouTuber says they have the best community, but I really think I do. I really think I do. And just whenever I have been elusive or not on my stream schedule, just the amount of assurance you guys have given me that it's cool, it's fine, show up whenever you like, Pez. You know, you've always told me you'd rather see me show up in the right way than try to force it, and I think that's where it's been for a little while now. It's been forcing it, simply because there's been so many other things in my life that have been garnering my brain cave's attention, little thoughts flitting into my brain canal, you know. It sounds so cheesy to say it, but things like purpose and meaning and what do I want to do with my life? Who do I want to be? What do I want to transition into? And just all these questions. I don't know if it's going to come up to 30. It's probably a midlife crisis, to be quite honest. Because yeah, I've had like this wanderlust for adventure for a while. I've had this real craving just to drop everything artificial, everything kind of illusory, because I really got thinking. Like, there's so many things that technology affords us, that video games, that Final Fantasy have afforded me, that they're absolutely wonderful. But at the same time, don't you ever get the feeling they're a cheap fucking substitute? And what I mean by that is like look at dating apps, for example. You can like go on a date every day of the week. You can meet other people looking for love. Connect. Oh, I knew that wouldn't last for long. Okay, well, now I've got the camera, might as well do some pans. Yeah, beautiful. I got this swanky new cube bike, mountain bike. I'll tell you what that's for in a minute, guys. But yeah, don't you feel like versus meeting someone authentically or organically, like dating apps are a cheap substitute? Well, like Facebook or social media, like you can have 1,000 friends. You can call them and communicate with them anytime. But versus actually meeting people face to face, cheap fucking substitute. And I even started thinking like gaming. You know, I feel like all of us gamers, especially Farm Fantasy, I know we all have adventurous spirits. I've seen it in you guys. I've met you guys. I've gone to Japan. I've seen how many of you guys also love traveling and all of the themes, all of the beauty, all of like the meaning that's involved in like going on an adventure, going out there, meeting people, experiencing these different modes of life and cultures, and getting to see yourself like we see these Final Fantasy characters. Like we get to see them at so many different perspectives, so many different angles. I think that's why I got to where I'm at now, is I just want to see myself in as many different perspectives as I can. And I think that's what's been causing me a real problem with my consistency on my channel, is because, you know, I could happily, like when I was a kid and when I started this channel, just spend 15 hours a day just doing FF stuff, just doing channel stuff, just being online in the world of illusion. And it's beautiful for a while, but I started realizing it's just this comfort blanket that I wear, and I want to shed it. So what am I going to be doing? What am I going to be doing, guys? It'll be a small while, and it may not even be that long. It just depends when I finally get out there and make videos on the road, because me and El Ginge, we've had this crazy idea to cycle the world. Cycle the freaking world. Load this bad boy up with all the panniers, all the bags, and just cycle the entire goddamn world. We're gonna freaking do it. I'm already making the purchases. Got Scotland in mind to start with, and then who knows? We're looking at Japan. Go Japan through China, Southeast Asia, past Turkey, and Tajikistan is registered as one to cross, like if you really want to get across the whole world, but that's right next to Afghanistan, and we all know how shit's gone down there, so might have to go through Russia. I don't know, like, or do we start on the South American continent? Peru, I freaking loved Peru. Head up into America, actually meet some of you guys, at last. Meet some of you beautiful motherfuckers who have always said, if I come to your part of the world, we should meet up. Well, I hope that freaking happens, man. I hate holding this camera. I really do. Just staring straight into the sun, so. But yeah, cycle the world, experience, and literally live out in the wilderness. It'll be bike packing and wild camping, and just putting myself back into some extremes, some elements, you know, having to cook basic whole ingredients, having to sit in silence, having to be fucking bored. Like, this is the main problem I think I've had, guys. I've had such a fun up and down few years with this channel, like so many thrills, so many excitements every day going on a stream, and I feel like my dopamine and my serotonin, if anything, has just been spiked and just blown out of fucking whack. And that's the thing, when we experience too many highs, it kind of mutes your ability to feel more subtle levels of contentment, you know? Suddenly boredom becomes an intolerable thing. Sitting in silence becomes a headache. And I just felt all these other practices that I once had really in place, like meditation and getting out, and yeah, just being bored out my goddamn mind, I found myself substituting them just with games and other vices. I won't mention them all, but that's what I really need to heal from, and that's what I want to do this trip for. And in fact, I want to do this trip for a long while now, guys. Long while. I mean, it started with the idea of going to like the Philippines in like 2 years ago, then buying a place in Portugal, which I still will do. Buy a little farm. I'm actually going to become a peasant. And this is the thing, guys. There's so much about this channel and like why I started it that has just become like this poetry, like this theme in my life that, while never exactly the same, it kind of rhymes. It has like this rhyming effect. And what I mean by that is like this urge to go on some journeys. It's actually, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm just going to be straight with you guys. Straight as fuck. Me and Tash have decided to end it. You know, we broke up once. We came back, gave it another shot, and I'm actually really glad we did. It was like the longest closure ever, like a year's worth of closure. But I think we've come to a really good place, like the best breakup you could have. Because I've got these things I need to do, and she's very, very different. We've been a tale of opposites our entire life, 12 years together. And yeah, we could not be more different. She's organized to an OCD degree. You know, she's planned, she's methodical, and I'm just completely the opposite in every regard. And I think those opposites have just built up. But you know, the way we ended it is, I know exes can't be friends, but I genuinely think we have a good shot of it, because you know, we said we'll always mean the world to each other, and we'll always have each other's back. And we've got a pair of dogos, which it's going to be hard to say goodbye to them for a while, but it's going to have to happen for a bit. And I've been raising puppies. In fact, oh god, I'm going to have to cut in. I wasn't going to edit this vid, but I'm going to have to cut in some puppy stuff. Check how cute these little fuckers are. Oh my god, let's go for a little walk. Let's go for a walk. Yeah, it's been a lot being a dog parent for the last few weeks, but fucking hell, it's amazing. I love it. But yeah, it's been interesting raising a little pair of sheep pups, and this is sort of what I'm just waiting around for. Get them to their age. My twin sister will be having one, and then once they go, time to travel. Just throw myself out into the abyss. Throw myself off the branch and see where I land. And that includes everything, guys, like selling my home, breaking down everything I've sort of known for now. I'm really enthusiastic to do. I'm fucking scared. I'm terrified as hell. But this is where it's sort of got that like rhyming pattern to it, because it's gonna sound real cheesy, but as a kid, I literally was just a wandering peasant boy in the streets of like Turkey and other foreign countries, just literally roaming around. I never had a home, never had a place to settle. I was literally like Aladdin, or probably more like a Boo, to be honest. Like just this cheeky little scallywag who would go around pickpocketing or stealing from the markets, and living in an awful lot of poverty and a lot of basics. And it was a really fucking horrible childhood. And when I came back and I finally had a home, my nan took me in. For the first time, I'd had like a settled home. And it's something crazy in the sense that Final Fantasy VII was like the first friend to greet me as a traumatized little child. It was like the first comfort blanket that came along. And I remember it now, like the amount of healing that game did for me at that age. It's absolutely incredible. It's why it stuck with me so much. And then I followed that, through my adult life. And then when I heard the remake was happening, then I made a channel. I made a Final Fantasy Peasant channel. And 557 then allowed me to buy a home. So it's like, it allowed me to get a home. And now, just as Remake Part 2 is happening, just as the crew is leaving Midgar, holy shit, I'm now leaving it all. I'm leaving home and breaking down all of that homely comfort to, once again, go out and experience some of freaking that. Just some raw ass nature, man. Raw, unfiltered nature. And it's just crazy because obviously that's the theme of Final Fantasy, like the Cetra were like travelers, and they settled down for the love of home, which brought around comfort and vices, and it breeded ignorance and naivety and disconnection from like the natural world. And obviously that's what Aerith's here to put back on track. So yeah, it's just freaking crazy that, you know, the core theme of 7 is just like following me at these distinct points, and like this 100k happening just at this point. I don't know. You find poetic things in the own flow of your life, I guess. But everything in me tells me this is the thing I need to be doing right now. And yeah, it's boundless, terrifying freedom, man. Shit, boundless, terrifying freedom. But I'm really bloody looking forward to it. And yeah, I don't know, maybe me and Ginge have spoken about it, making a second channel. Don't know what we'd call it. Maybe the Wandering Peasants, or the Roving Hobos. I don't know, but definitely I'm not going to be off of the YouTube world this whole time. I will be for a while, but what I know is that once I'm out, once I'm settled, once there's not all these little easy things to just grab, like heading down to the, all these little luxuries, heading down to the pub and drinking or smoking, or all these little easy distractions. I know in that space I'm gonna want to make videos. I know in that space when I'm just cycling for like 10 hours a day through some unknown country, I know what my brain does. And that's what's really powerful about silence, or like just letting your brain do that, is it's weird. It's like if you're sitting down and you're trying to think about a video to make, or like think about a topic you want to discuss, it becomes so much harder, just the process of like, I'm trying to do it, versus what I remember when I used to work at the aviation place. It was a boring, monotonous job, but I would just sit there and I would mull over all these Final Fantasy vids, and that's how my best early theories happened. Like, they just sort of emerge when you're not trying. It's like the weird paradox. You ever had it where you're like trying to figure something out for fucking ages, and then the second you go and run the bath and chill in it, it's like boom. And yeah, that's what I really hope, guys, is that when you do see me again, when I do come back to Final Fantasy, create this other channel, is that you're going to see a better version of me. You're going to see a more present version of me. One that you guys have not been seeing for probably nearly 6 months to a year now. And that's the thing, when I've known I've not been my best, when I know that, frankly, like, just get myself into such a degenerate brain space, like not even like fueling it with like books or podcasts. I can feel myself dumbing down. I can feel, no, I've got nothing really of value to contribute to you guys. And the second I've had that feeling, I immediately don't want to do vids. I immediately don't want to pump anything out. And, you know, I know I'm terrible for creating like 30-40 minute vids and like really going into a fucking shitload of detail, but that's what I love. That's what I love. I really don't fucking like, and I'm not going to bend the knee to this like 30-second attention deficit sort of YouTube shorts and TikTok fucking bullshit that's happening. I've never been on this platform just for the fucking results, just for the views, just for the money. It's never been that. It's never been just about getting results for results' sake, I guess is what I'm saying. I genuinely want to create something that's me, something that, you know, something that I can stamp and say that was something beautiful that I made, or something that at least resonated with someone in a way that actually made a fucking difference. You know what I mean? Like not just creating content just to try to bait people in and have them waste 5 minutes of their freaking day just because they're also just as addicted as I am to, you know, to short, easily digestible content. That's the thing. There's so much pulling all of our brains. I don't know if you felt it or if you get it. I try not to be too doomer about society, using the word society, but I've generally started getting to the thought process that this fucking, look, it's so goddamn beautiful, and yet you just look at these little pockets of towns and cities, and we've literally just surrounded ourselves with a bunch of fucking illusion, man. Like, how much do we really fucking experience that is like real and authentic? And I don't know, something more. I don't even know how to articulate it. I felt it in the past. I felt it before. I felt that mode where you just feel like the borders of you expand, and it's so beautiful, it's so wonderful. And I think it's because I've experienced that before, that the second you start feeling the walls of who you are closing in again, the second you start realizing, oh, for the last 2-3 months I've only been experiencing like a 5 out of 10 of happiness, or a 6 out of 10 of happiness. Life ain't supposed to be 6 out of 10, guys. It ain't supposed to be a 7. You know, a 10 out of 10 might be a bit to ask, well, I'll grant you that, but like, I even asked my friends this, and they kind of think that's like normal. Like, life is supposed to be just chug along, you know, 6 out of 10, I'm okay. It's not, man. There's like so many heights of joy and wonder and beauty to be experienced, and you know, that's what's pulled us into Final Fantasy. That's what I genuinely believe I've been seeking, and what Final Fantasy gave me. And like, yeah, it was a comfort blanket, it really was, but at some point they got to go. Like, the comfort blankets have got to go. At some point you sort of realize you're just wearing the comfort blankets just for wearing them's sake, just because doing anything else is either too scary or too worrisome, or it would have to come at sacrifices. And you know, I knew this would come at a sacrifice. I knew, even as I was trying to plan, you know, the Portugal idea, which was again to try to get back to nature. That's where I started feeling the disconnect with me and Tash. And so yeah, I guess what I'm saying is sometimes hard decisions have to be made, and I know not everyone is in as lucky and fortunate position as I'm in, as you guys have put me in, where I can just buy my rig, set off, and cut loose from everything. You guys have enabled me to do that, so watch this space, guys. Watch this space. I actually feel like it'd be really cool covering Final Fantasy stuff. Ooh, Final Fantasy stuff like in crazy little locations around the world. Set up the camera. Maybe one day you'll see me doing covering 16 and what Clive Rossfield's up to in front of the freaking Grand Canyon, or maybe I'll be in some yurt in Mongolia when Remake Part 2 trailer drops. I don't know. It'll be so cool to actually cover Final Fantasy while going on the fucking Final Fantasy, being on the adventure. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any recommendations on where to start. Well, yeah, we'll start in Scotland and then go from there. Scotland mostly just because they've got freedom to roam laws, which basically means you can set up your tent anywhere. You can just set it up, have to pay some extortionate fee and sit with a bunch of other wankers in a plot of garden, just like a square bit of lawn, which that's the thing, man. It's like every time I've tried to get out in nature and tried to like fill this little void I've had, ayahuasca in Peru and was definitely that. But if you try to do it in this country, you're paying fuckloads of money. Just go camp in a field. You just sit there. Then you end up usually just drinking alcohol, and yeah, it really fucking sucks. It's really like dawned on me, like, whoa. The whole thing about privatizing our land, privatizing fucking everything, just the absolute shit show that capitalism has done on everything. We really don't have access to the elements that are really integral to us at our root, like the real primal things to us, because I do believe it. I do believe that there's an element in all of us that is a bit nomadic, a little bit Cetra. You know, that we're supposed to move, we're supposed to experience, we're supposed to see the world through each other's lenses. You know, there's no greater thing for your emotional intelligence and your perspective on the world than getting out and seeing other cultures. Even just when you've got your feet off, your shoes off, your feet off, like, you actually have to look around. You know what I mean? You actually have to just be mindful of where you're stepping. It's the same as like cycling. You're just in the here and now. You're in the right hemisphere of your brain. And this is really what I know I need to balance. If you guys have ever seen like any research on the left and the right parts of your brain, like one side offers context, whereas one is more reactionary. So of course, if you don't have the contextual side as strong or as balanced as the reactionary side, well, you can get what that looks like, and vice versa. If you've got the context side, not the reactionary side, well, then you're overthinking everything and you're never taking action. One side is more for creative thinking and concepts, ideas, creating, I don't know, music or writing. And the other one is the more here and now, the hands-on, the task right in front of you. And you know, I've done so much of the left hemisphere stuff, doing Final Fantasy, that's the thing. I just feel I need to balance it out with just being laser focused here and now. And I know that once I do that, the content I make is going to be so much better on this channel. But anyway, guys, that's going to be like the weirdest 100k silver play vid you've probably ever seen. I'm cycling the world! Woo! Maybe. I'm probably massively overestimating what sort of a task that will be. But yeah, guys, I will always keep you updated on where I am, where I'm landing. And yeah, I really hope to see some of you guys. Anyway, guys, peace out. I love you guys so freaking much. Yeah, you've been absolutely the most wonderful companions. I'm cracking myself up. I know at the heart of it, a lot of the kind of people that you are and the kind of reasons why we even go to gaming, like, it is sometimes an escape mechanism. Sometimes it's just because everything outside of it just doesn't hold as much freaking beauty. But we just get ourselves caught in all these weird, trippy, fucked up little headspaces, and there ain't no need for it, guys. It's the process of life. You know, you can either go to suffering or just wait for it to come to you. And that's the thing, this trip is going to be so full of suffering and hardship, and there's not going to be all the easy necessities and accessories around me just to reach for, and that's what I need. I I need those vices to not be right in front of me. And yeah, controlled suffering. Let's go. Let's run head first into it, baby. Woo! Peace out, guys.